So you've raised your kids. They're out exploring the big wide world, and now you want to have some fun.
So here are 5 tips for making new friends in the empty nest.
So tip number 1, it's time for you to establish some new routines. Your days used to revolve around getting your kids where they needed to go and supporting them while they were there. And so many empty nesters, once they get to this stage, they find this big hole in their time and they don't quite know what to do with it.
So where everything used to be kids, home, work, now it's home to work to home. And there's nothing wrong with it being home or work. For instance, a lot of empty nesters actually spend more time at work because they've been promoted in their career, or now they're mentors to other people who work underneath them, or they want to focus more on their career in a way that they weren't able to before they had this kind of time. This is a great opportunity for you to be able to renovate, to use some of these new spaces that you found now that you don't have kids taking up the space anymore. So there are a lot of things that you could do as part of building that new routine that's all about you.
All right, so now that takes us to tip 2. You need to reconnect with your own personal interests. Raising a family, we all know, millions of moms and dads around the world know that raising a family requires a lot of sacrifice. And quite often, parents give up things that they enjoy doing for the sake of raising their kids. They need to have the time and the energy to go to work, to take care of the needs of the kids. And so now, as an empty nester, this is an opportunity to reconnect with who you used to be. For example, I used to write a lot.
Right.
But when we had kids, it
You
wasn't.
wrote a lot.
I know. But I couldn't raise a family on that.
I used to go to choir practice all the time before kids. After kids, not so much.
Tip number 3, experiment with new interests. So now that your kids are gone, you have this time, you have all of this, maybe some renewed energy. It can be a great time to find new interests, to connect with new things. You are accustomed to seeing yourself as, maybe a mom or dad. That could be your primary role as a caregiver, but now you have an opportunity to see yourself in a whole new way.
So, for instance, maybe you've always wanted to take dancing classes, or maybe you've always wanted to write a book. Now you have the time to step out and do those things. And even more importantly, stepping out and doing things that take you outside your comfort zone. So for instance, we are talking about doing, what is it, the Chicago
stepping?
Yes. I can't dance, but that's okay. It will take me out of my comfort zone, but I'm at a space and time where I'm just interested and willing to do some new things going into our empty nest stage of life.
Right, and that kind of takes us, that's a good segue into tip number 4. Use technology to connect with other people. Because you used to have kind of buffer of kids' activities, it may have been easier in the past to connect with people because you had the PTA and you talked about PTA stuff. That was a way to enter into a conversation. Or you're at the ball game, you have that crowd and you have ball game stuff as kind of a guide into a conversation. Now, without kids, you have to find some other ways to initiate some contact and communication with other people.
Yeah, so the thing about connecting through technology, sometimes it can be a little bit intimidating, I know, because there are certain types of technology that you don't use every day at work. But one of the things you can do when you consider some of these different apps like Meetup,
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, all of those,
is if you're not sure about how to use them, this is a good opportunity to reach out to your kids or your grandkids because they're usually very adept at using technology. If you need a little bit of assistance in getting into some of these new ways of exploring technology so that you can connect with people who might be parts of groups that are of interest to you. For instance, I participate in a couple of different Facebook groups. It is a wonderful opportunity for learning and for connecting to people who are really kind of honed in on exactly what you're interested in. It's a good way for you to ask questions, to learn. Even going to YouTube, it's like YouTube University. Anything you want to learn in the empty nest, anything that's new to you, it's a wonderful opportunity to learn there.
And so for us, at the same time that we became empty nesters, we moved to a new city.
Oh, yeah.
And so we were really kind of just out there, kind of on our own. We didn't have our kids around, and we were in this new place. So for me, Meetup became a great opportunity to connect with people around some similar interests. And it gave a safe way to meet up with a whole new crowd.
And I have to say, kind of back to getting out of your comfort zone. We moved because we no longer had children
Right.
who were living in the household. The last one had graduated high school and was going off to college, and we thought it was a great opportunity for us to just step out and do something totally different. And for us, that was moving to a new city, and it's been good.
It's been very good.
There's been no looking back.
Tip number 5 is to find volunteer opportunities around things that you care about. One of the big parts of being a parent is being a caregiver. And so you spend a lot of years caring for people, caring for young people, caring for teenagers,
Caring for parents.
caring for young adults. And so now with the kids out of the nest, sometimes people want to find something to do with those caregiving impulses. You don't have to give it up, but instead you can just find volunteer opportunities.
Well, and also volunteer opportunities that are geared more towards your profession. You know, you might be a marketing professional. You might be, say, a skilled worker. You might be an electrician or a plumber or what have you. There are opportunities for you too to be able to go out and use what you already know to help other people that might be in need in your community. So the best thing to do is to check out some areas in your local community. Maybe start with churches or like your local United Way. That's just some instances of what you can do.
Right.
So when you think about volunteering, you know, kind of there's an umbrella of things that you can do and find interest with. And this is going to be a great opportunity to find other people to connect to.
Right. So you get two things done at once. You help someone out, you contribute to a worthy cause, and you also meet some people, some like-minded people.
Until next time, I'm Tanya.
And I'm Tyrone. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you watch it all the way through to the end.
So we'll see you next time. Hope you're there.